agency. If you guys go to the One Heather GEE account, you can see I've made all of these calls live. I have proof that I have been contacting not only local law enforcement, but also the FBI since 2019 to report the druggings, the rapes, the robberies, the beatings, the bludgeonings, the stabbings, the stalking, the harassment, the domestic terrorism through the phone, the following me,
serious bodily injury, significant violent action, or threats to national security, press 2.
the bludgeoning, the stabbings, the separation from children, etc., and so forth, for 4 years now. And about 20 minutes ago, I just called. Someone answered the phone. She refused to identify herself or give any sort of documentation for the phone call. Asked me about one half of a question and then hung up on me, disconnected the call while I was mid-sentence. That's pretty much been the response. I've also submitted these complaints online and not a single person has called me back. So now we have formal petitions and complaints with police report numbers filed in Lake County, Cook County, DuPage County, Tampa Bay, Florida, Miami, Florida, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And to this day, we have not heard back from a single member of law enforcement. When I call them and I provide them with credible, reliable information, they refuse to allow me to complete my sentences, disconnect the calls. When I ask for an in-person meeting with any detective or member of law enforcement or a field agent, they blatantly refuse to allow it. Again, I've been a tax-paying citizen in the country of the United States of America since I was 14 years old. I was born here. I got my first job on a work permit to work at a movie theater. And I have been literally working my ass off my entire life. When you work, taxes are taken out on their own. In addition to taxes being taken out, I haven't been able to save any money. Consumer. So what does that tell you? I've paid an extraordinary amount of taxes on everything I've consumed. So I've pretty much been a decent member of the United States, good citizen. I have 3 children. I mind my own business. I don't hurt people. There is no excuse for the FBI or local law enforcement to be ignoring these claims at this point. You guys were there live with me while I called Chicago police yesterday after being approached by a woman, a stranger that I do not know, in the store. She was playing audio of my voice, which sounded like one of the calls I've made to law enforcement telling them I've been stalked, raped, beaten, robbed, abused for the past 4 years. She was playing my voice on repeat. I turned around and asked her, what is your purpose in doing that? And she said, you are being followed. And I looked at Xavier, and Xavier looked at her, and he said to her, do you work for Google? I think just to break the ice and loosen me up, because he could tell I was getting scared. And she, with a real weird face like this, said again, she is being followed. And we chose to leave the store at that point and go to a different location where there were witnesses. She did not follow me. She refused to identify herself or, give any reason for why she would be following me. But this is nothing new. This is shit I've been documenting for more than 4 years now, and not receiving any assistance with. As a tax-paying citizen, I don't understand what I have to do. How many times do I have to be sexually assaulted? Does my body need to wash up on a bank somewhere to receive assistance, to receive respect? Even if they weren't going to investigate the case, to be blatantly disrespected every time I call. I don't call hysterically. I've never called the FBI hysterically. I've called 911 hysterically because why? What does 911 indicate? That there's an emergency, right? So when I call 911 hysterically, it's because there's an active home invasion in progress. When I call the FBI from Mariano's, I'm calm, cool, and collected. So I'm giving them no attitude. Why am I getting hung up on, dismissed, and blatantly disrespected? I've been paying taxes my entire life. And whether I've been paying taxes my entire life, there are human rights, there are civil rights, and there are constitutional rights that this country upholds. Who's going to do something about this, right? We're just going to live this way? Where a woman, single mother of 3, can be raped out in the street in daylight with witnesses, or in the darkness of a motel room with witnesses, and no one's going to do anything about it? A woman can be bludgeoned over the back of her head, resulting in the need for staples to close the wound and hospitalized for 5 days over the occurrence. There's an arrest made on the scene, but she never receives victim services or follow-up from any detectives. A woman can be jumped and stabbed 11 times by 3 women with screwdrivers. An arrest can be made, but no victim services would be rendered. I would never even get a court date. How does that make sense? In what country do they operate this way? Because I guarantee you, if I decided that I just was going to walk up to a stranger and bludgeon them and bust open their head, I'd be in handcuffs and they would have a court date, right? I'd be charged and the person who was victimized would be coming after me for restitution. Am I right or am I wrong? So I want you guys to hear this. As I said, go to the One Heather GEE account, please. There are so many of these.
After the instructions are provided, your call will be disconnected.
Just me calling the FBI after being exhausted in dealing with local law enforcement, attempting to get an appointment with a field agent, trying to report numerous occurrences of technological domestic terrorism, as well as many other examples of domestic terrorism, including stalking, gang stalking, robbery, theft, abuse, and many other things. If you don't think it's a matter of national security that a woman, me, or any other woman, for 4 years is having all her 911 calls obstructed, all her calls to friends and family obstructed, you don't know what domestic terrorism is. Until you're in a position where you need help from law enforcement and 4 years go by that you can't even get a call through to them, it's a pretty fucked up situation. And I don't think it goes on in third world countries. I think it would take one time in a country, with less couth, technological advancement, acceptance and tolerance to receive a call like this, and it would be done. They would be arresting.
FBI, can I get the spelling of your first and last name, please?
Heather. Last name is Gillespie. Can I have your name, please?
I don't give out my name, but I can give you my ID number. My ID number is 9981.
Okay, great.
Can I have your date of birth, please?
1/12 of 87.
1/12/87. Can I get a good callback number?
Yeah, there is none, but I do have 772-3193.
You could give them my number if you want.
Okay, I have 312-772-3193. Last question. Can I have your home address, please?
1244 North Stone, Unit 3, Chicago, Illinois, 60610.
All right, I'm going to verify that back to you. I have 1244 North Stone, Unit 3, Chicago, Illinois, 60610. Is that correct?
Right.
And what are you calling to report today, Heather?
So there have been multiple occurrences that I've already called to report, and I haven't really gotten anywhere with them. The number one most problematic is...
If you've already contacted us, you can just add new information. We do have your previous calls documented. You just have to add new information.
This is separate. If I could finish a sentence, that'd be great. So yesterday, I was actually approached by a stranger in person who is playing audio of a 911 call that I made when someone was trying to home invade my house. And the audio
How did the stranger get this audio from a 911 call?
I wouldn't know, but the audio was in response from me crying, saying I've been being raped, beaten, abused, robbed, bludgeoned, stabbed for the last 4 years, both on camera and off. I've reported it in Lake County, Barrington, DuPage County, Elmhurst, as well as Lombard, every jurisdiction in Chicago.
And what did they tell you after you reported?
Well, I'm not done talking. Would you mind allowing me to finish a sentence?
I have questions I have to ask you. You've called us today.
Right, and I'm not being permitted to finish a thought. So this is what you're doing is a bullying maneuver. You can be sued,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'm going to terminate the call. I have questions I have to ask. I'm terminating for non-cooperation. Goodbye.
And this is the United States. You're terminating the call for non-cooperation. Everyone in the comments who has something bad to say about me, you're clearly paid off. I mean, any fucking moron can listen to the lack of respect and lack of protocol being followed in this call and know that there's clearly something going on here that has nothing to do with me. So that's why you ask me why I don't answer the questions in the comments. Well, they're not questions. They're bullying remarks. They're extorting remarks. They're just invalid accusations, and they're made in an effort to gain power and control over the narrative that isn't yours to gain power or control over at all. What I've attempted to tell the FBI now more than 30 times, and as I said before, all of these calls have been being made since 2019 live on Instagram as well as off Instagram, and they began with the one Heather GEE account of Instagram. So I have been recording and documenting whether they answer, whether they're nice, whether they're mean, whether they cooperate, whether they don't. I have been documenting in my own personal planners the ID number of who I speak with, the time and date that I've called, and I've also been going live. This is 4+ years now, okay? I have 3 small children, a career, an education, goals, dreams. None of them include being raped, bludgeoned, beaten, stalked, robbed. None of them. So I'm very curious to understand if there is no way to contact the FBI or meet with a field agent regarding all of the abusiveness that's taken place. And local law enforcement has proof that it's taking place. Hundreds of witnesses say, yeah, we saw that go on. And the best advice I can receive from law enforcement is, quote, just keep on documenting. How do I remain hopeful? How do I not kill myself? Have you ever been held down and fucked from behind? No? While you screamed out for help? I have. Have you ever been separated from your children and everyone you love? I have. Have you ever been held against your will? I have. Have you ever had everything you've worked for robbed from you just so that you could go out and work for it again and they could rob it again and again and again? I have. Have you ever had your grocery money stolen right out from under you and you don't find out about it until you're at the checkout and it's all gone? I have. Have you ever woken up with every dollar that you saved, a lousy $800 gone, missing, disappeared? I have. Have you ever gotten an apartment and paid someone to install 3 new locks, including locks, deadbolts from the inside that cannot open from the outside, only to wake up and discover your food missing, your clothing stolen, and all of the locks churned open? I have. Have you ever reported it to law enforcement and been blatantly ignored or accused of being out of your mind? I have. Have you then submitted and said, okay, if I'm crazy, help me. Give me the help you claim I need, and been blatantly ignored? I have. Have you ever voluntarily gone through 3 psychiatric evals with 3 separate and capable, but there's nothing crazy at all about you? I have. So what lawyer can pick up this case to stop the tremendous amounts of abuse that I've not only experienced, but also been proving consistently for a period of over 4 years? If anyone has any real information to provide, please do so. Other than that, I don't want to be harassed. I don't want to be stalked. I've not given my permission verbally, written, or implied to allow anyone to be near me, use my likeness, use my story, use my adversities, use my victimizations, use my children, use my family, use my mother, use my likeness for any reason. I need solutions. I've been pushing around a fucking cart full of my belongings for 6 months. I've been being kicked around like a ball for 4 years. I'm a whole entire woman, and a mother, and I'm 4 months pregnant, and I'm tired of being abused.